Hey everybody, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to Train Sim World 2020. Welcome to the Tees Valley route, and this is the BR Class 20 RF DLC add-on. We're going to take about a 10-mile trip from Corby, where we are now, down to a steelworks at Lackenby. We've got, what would we call these? Empty, yeah, I don't know. I don't think rail cars are ever referred to as flatbeds. Oh, whatever they are, they're empty. So we're going to head about 10 miles down the road and get these to the steelworks. I've done this trip before. It takes, I want to say, about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So hopefully everything will work out just right. All right. In here. Right there. I'm being as always, I'm trying to be as gentle as I can with the camera. I don't want to throw it around too aggressively. All right. So we need this key in. Right, and that unlocks this reverser. We can set that to forward, lights on, safety systems on, instrument lights on, headlights on. Did I just turn those on? I think I did. Headlights on, okay, so that's good. We'll confirm our speed limit here, but I think we're already maxed out. Yeah, we're already at 60 miles an hour for a maximum speed limit. I've got half a HUD turned on, and I think, is that everything? What? That's new. Has that always been there? What? All right. I've not seen that before. Moment. Interesting. Hang on. Let me move my mouse. Small desk. Got to pick my mouse up and hop it a little bit. All right. I think that's new. I don't know that I've ever seen that in any other loco. Now I need to go get in all of them and test it out. Right, I think we're good to go. So, brakes off. This takes a minute. Brakes in this whip are not the most responsive. There we go, pressure's coming down. All right, and we are forward. We're ready to go, here we go. Right, so we've got a 50 coming up, but we're already at 60, so we're good to go. Now, something I've noticed on this Tees Valley route is the trackside indicators for speed limit are like nigh impossible to see. See if we can get some up here. That one is pretty visible, but these other ones, they're sort of cut out, and they are really hard to see. So right, how's everybody doing? It's Thursday for me, it's Friday for you. We made it. Made it through another week. Yay us. I hope everybody's being safe. Wash your hands, do what you need to do. Take care of yourselves, take care of the people around you. We're making it. We'll get through this. And let me see what's new in my world. I just ordered the F1 2020, and I'm really looking forward to it. I've been watching more videos. I've been trying to see a little bit more, what the game is about. The gameplay looks really similar. They added Vietnam and Zandvoort, obviously, and we kind of expected that, and the teams are essentially the same as they were last year, so we expected that. No problem there. And other than that, as far as the management stuff, being able to build your own team is it's just looking cooler and cooler to me. I hope it is as good as it looks, and I hope that if it's not as good as it looks, that we can turn it off, because there's a sign. About a half a mile, 3/4 of a mile, we got a sign coming up. I'll point one out to you when we pass it. They are so hard to see. But if it's not good, I want to be able to turn it off and just drive the car. And I mean, you can always do that. You can just do kind of pickup events. You don't have to do season or career or championship or anything. You can just do single races, if that's your thing. So I hope the management is both A, great, or barring that, B, optional, and you can turn it off. But it seems to have a little bit of carryover from, I would say, like the Dirt franchise, where you have to deal with sponsors and contracts and things like that. All right, so look here, let's see if we can see one. couple hundred yards. Yeah, look how small this sign is and how difficult it is to read. Very hard to see, particularly at night. I really have a problem with them at night. And we are, well, we're just a bit over, so we'll, there we are. 50. Beautiful. All right, and now we're 55, then we're going to 30. Oh, game. So, yep, looking forward to that. What else? I've been flying a ton in DCS. I've been flying the Mustang. I've been kind of, I don't know, dipping a toe into multiplayer and flying with other people. It's going to be weird. It's going to be weird without track IR, for one thing. Anything that I do, I want to be good at it. I want to be the best at it. I certainly don't want to suck at it. So it's going to be tricky at first. Flying with people and MP, until you find your squad, your own particular group of people that you want to do something with, whether it's FPS or flight or racing or whatever, it can be really tricky to find a good group of people that have kind of your same take on a game. And I never want to get so dogmatic about things that I won't play with anybody unless they play exactly the way I play. But I also, I don't know, if it's a game that has a good single player aspect, it's really hard to justify sometimes playing online if it doesn't really do it for you. So we'll see. I mean, it seems like a pretty good group of people, and DCS is, in a way, DCS is sort of a, it strikes me as a game that kind of segregates out people that are casual. It's almost got that Tarkov feel to it, where if you want to play casually, you don't want to play this game. I know there's some automated stuff you can do and things that you can do to make the game a little bit less demanding, but for the most part, DCS, from what I've seen, it's a very involved game, and you have to really be serious about it, and really, for lack of a better word, you have to want to play it. And we'll drop it down to 20 up here. There we go. So I hope that means that most of the people that are on that server and on that Discord are pretty serious about it, and we can learn from each other. I can learn from them. I've got basic flight down, takeoff and landing. I've got that down, which for the Mustang, it's not that big a deal, but it's not nothing. The Mustang's kind of a tricky plane to fly. Any World War II era tail dragger is going to be a little bit tricky compared to most modern aircraft. But I can take off, I can fly, I can turn, I can land. I do need to get better at formation flying, and I really want to learn communication and tactics. And I think that's just something, I know you can learn to fly on your own. I don't know that you can really learn comms and formation flying and tactics and that sort of thing on your own. I think you have to do that with a squad. So we'll see how that all works out. And what else? I bought a bunch of DLC for Arma 3. Of course, Steam sale, everything's on sale. I bought a bunch of that. I haven't been in Arma 3 for a long time. I'd say over a year, probably close to a year and a half since I've been in Arma 3. And I'm curious how the game is different. Has it improved at all since the last time I was in it? That's one thing. And I'm also curious if I can get any kind of a Tarkov-like buzz from Arma 3 single player. I do like Tarkov, you know that. Tarkov is like my spirit animal, but it's just too brutal. The game is too goddamn hard. It's so hard I can't even enjoy it. If you can enjoy it, you're good at it, good for you, man. But I can't get there. Try as I may, I cannot get there on Tarkov. And it got to the point where the group that I was playing with, very nice group of people, and very, very good at the game. And they kept telling me, we'll bring you in gear. Because I kept losing all my gear. It was very difficult for me to make money, and they'd say, it's no problem. We're sitting on, 25 million, 50 million rubles. It's not a big deal for us to bring you in, $500,000 worth of kit. And it's like, yeah, it's not a big deal for you, but it's a big deal for me to be carried. I don't want to be carried. So trying to do it on my own, too frustrating, and no interest in being carried, for lack of a better word. So I uninstalled, and I'm hoping Arma 3 is like one step down from that. And you never want to admit that a game has kicked your ass. You never want to admit that a genre has kicked your ass. And I can certainly play what I think of now as arcade shooters, Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, things like that. I can play those, but they don't really do it for me. They're too arcade. They're too cartoony. And then way at the other end of the spectrum, you have something like Tarkov, which is just brutal. So one step down from that, I think of things like Arma and Squad. Squad is MP only though, and I've tried several Squad servers. Did not have good luck. And I think again, you need to find a squad out of game, right? You need to find people that are good, that know what they're doing, that are willing to train you, that you get along with, like personality wise. You know, just a good group of people to play with in any game, in any sim. And the game or sim that you happen to be playing is Squad. But to just hop on a random server, I looked online and found threads saying, this server, that server, it's great for new players. It's, they'll train you, they'll help you. I never had, I was never on a server where it was like, where people were toxic or ugly or anything. Nothing like that. It was just a bunch of random people running around. And because I don't know Squad at all, I really did need some training. I'd spent plenty of time at the range in SP learning weapons and that sort of thing, but to be on an MP server for the first time and to have everybody yelling and squad leaders, saying, I need these people to go here and do this, and I need these people to go here. I was at a point like, wait a minute, who am I and where is there? And because nobody had taught me that or showed me that, there was just really no way that I could be of any value. And that's always frustrating. I've had people tell me, well, you just need to do that over and over. You just need to go on MP servers and be a pain in the ass and get yourself and a bunch of other people killed over and over until the game clicks, until it makes sense, and then you'll be more of an asset. I don't know, man. That doesn't seem, you know what I mean? It doesn't seem like the most efficient way to learn. So my thing is, you got to find a good group of people that you get along with, and you need to connect with them offline, and then hop in their training server and do that sort of thing. I haven't found that group yet. I think I found a group like that for DCS, but we shall see. All right, we got a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit up here. This is a cool route. I forgot about Tees Valley. Before I got this DLC, I forgot about Tees Valley, and I guess this is, it's not a heritage railroad. Heritage Railway? Heritage Railroad. Why am I struggling with that today? Heritage Railway. Heritage Railroad. It's neither of those. It's, I guess, like a retro railroad. The whole route. Versus some of the other ones that are, some of the other routes that are heritage railways in contemporary settings. This, I believe this whole thing is meant to be in the past. And it's very cool. It's very industrial. It's probably, I'd say, the most industrial of any DLC. I overbraked there just a little bit, but you know what? Nothing wrong with being safe. And I do like that. It's got a very gritty feel to it. And this is one of the later DLC, so it looks great. I'm really curious. We've got TSW2, first week of August. I'm curious what happens between now and then as far as Dovetail surprising all of us and saying, hey, you know what? If you own Train Sim World 2020, you automatically own Train Sim World 2. Or if you own, X number of DLC. I did the math, and I have about $350 worth of DLC over the past 2 years, plus the cost of the game. And nobody forced me to do that. I bought everything on day one, which means no discount. And I didn't bundle anything, which means no discount. But I still have, $400 into a video game in 2 years, and the game is arguably broken. It's never been completed. So we will be able to use this DLC in Train Sim World 2, but how it all fits together and how it all works and whether or not it's, I don't know, good, remains to be seen. And on top of that, I know I'm part of the problem because I'm going to buy Train Sim World 2. Well, if there's pre-order for it, I'll buy it before it's even released. I'll do that for the channel. And I know in terms of, you know, their entire fan base, the number of people who are buying the game because they like it versus the number of people that are buying it because they need to get a video up for a YouTube channel, probably pretty high. I'm guessing the majority of people buy it because they just like the game or want the game, and not because they have a channel. But regardless, I am part of the problem. I am why Dovetail sees no need to fix these things, and why they're going to continue doing things the way they do. So yeah, I know, not helping. You're not helping. I know I'm not helping. But I'm curious, and it's not, I think it's supposed to be like 30 US, 30 euro. Oh, it's not going to be F1 2020. Even with the 10% pre-order discount, I got the Schumacher edition. It was still $70. If TSW2 was $70, I don't know that I would buy it. But for $30, I mean, for $30 you get 2 new routes, and a route is, you can't get 2 DLC for $30. So in that way, you know, it's sort of a, I wouldn't say a bargain. I don't know if anything Dovetail does is a bargain. I wouldn't say it's a bargain, but it's, you know, it's not like a $150 Ubisoft title or anything. So we'll see how it all goes. We'll see how, man, I would love if the DLC that we currently have somehow, as if by magic, got ported over to Unreal 5 and had the new traction and friction and physics that TSW2 is going to have. I think it's a shame that we've bought, like this DLC I bought just a couple weeks ago, and in another month it's going to be more or less obsolete. You know, that kind of sucks. It really does, to get 6 weeks out of a DLC. And I know it'll still work in TSW2020, but I don't know if I'll keep TSW2020 installed. I may not. I think if I uninstall it, I'll lose CSX Heavy Haul, because that's not a DLC. In my case, that's part of base game, but I don't know what's happened over the past 2 years as far as where the various base game routes and DLC routes fall now, because I think if you just buy TSW 2020 now, you get like 5 routes, whereas if you bought it on day one, you got 1 route, and it was just the CSX Heavy Haul route. So I don't know if I can uninstall TSW 2020 and still have CSX Heavy Haul in TSW2. I'll do that. If not, I'll keep them both installed, which is kind of a shame, because this is, I want to say it's close to like 200 gig on my hard drive now, and I'm lucky to have like plenty of hard drive space at the moment, but I don't know how long that's going to last. I feel like that's almost like that's a benchmark. It's a really rotten benchmark, but I feel like you buy a new tower, you buy a new laptop, and it's got all this crazy amount of storage, and it's like, okay, cool, I will never fill that. And then you install all the games that you currently own, and then you install the games that you buy after you get that new system, and next thing you know, right, your hard drive is about to be full, and it's almost like that is our indicator that, hey, it's time to buy a new system. You know, what's wrong? Is it not working? Did it break? Did it blow up? Will it not play contemporary games? No, all that's fine. I just need a hard drive. And I know you can get a new hard drive for like $200-300, but you know what I mean. It's like an alarm clock, right? It's been 18 months. Time to buy a new system. So I don't think I'm ready to do that quite yet. I think what I'll probably do is just get a bigger SSD. All right, so we're at 25 now, and then we're going to 20 up here, and then I believe we're coasting in at about 10, and that will bring us in, hopefully, right around 30 minutes. We do have a yellow signal coming up, and that's one of those little baby ones, but then we go back to green once we get over here. Beautiful. I do like this. I do like this game, man. I do. And I know there's more going on, you know, behind the scenes with Dovetail, and how we feel about them as a developer, and how we feel about their business model and everything else. But the game itself, flawed as it may be, it's a good game, and I do like it. I really do. So we'll try to maintain positivity. We'll try to try to look forward to TSW2 and hope that it's an improvement over this. Whoa. I thought, looking at this tower over here, hang on, can we do this safely? Yeah, looking at this tower over here, I thought those were reflections on those little flanges. But then as we get close, they just straight up like pop out of existence. Or at least they did when we were in cab. Let's see what we get here. And they're sort of fading away. There they go. There they go. Those aren't reflections at all. We'll see what Unreal 5 does for this game. Can't do anything but good things, right? Hope it continues to play well. Now they have, this is the last, Tees Valley is one of the last DLC that they released. It was 3 or 4, maybe ago. They've got like 20 DLC. Tees Valley was, I could be wrong on that, but I want to say it was 3 or 4 DLC ago. And we're at, in this kind of a big complex yard with a lot going on. There's not a lot of track, but there's a lot of scenery. And we're at 60 FPS. And in the early days, that was absolutely not possible. I know, well, when CSX Heavy Haul first came out, like first came out, even hot rod systems were having a hard time maintaining 40 and 50 FPS. So it was definitely a pig, but they've cleaned it up. Oh, always on the fence. Always on the fence. Try to find that balance. I mean, I love what developers do. I love these games that they bring us. And in fairness, they do it for money. It's not like they do it because they like us or anything. They do it for money, but all these sims, all this great content, the developers bring this to us. So in that way, they're awesome. But they really, oh man, you know? They really try your patience sometimes. All right, so we got another 1.5 miles to go. I believe we're going to go over this little hump right here in front of us. Yeah, we're going to go over this little hump, and then we'll just kind of coast down into the yard. I know I've done this route several times. It took me several tries to get a gold medal on it. First couple times I did it, I got a silver, and I wasn't sure why, so I just kept trying it, and in time I did get a gold. You know, it's those little things. It's those little things. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about arbitrary rewards and innocuous, meaningless little achievements that make us do what we do. I mean, it's that dopamine, I guess. You just want that little gold star. You want that pat on the back. It's a funny old world. All right, and wow, we're actually crossing over. Okay, I take it back. It's a pretty big yard we're coming up to. I didn't think there was a ton of track up here, but looks like there's quite a bit. All right, so we'll coast down this hill, and then, like I said, we're just about at the yard, and I really need to be careful with the brakes. I do remember this. Very easy to speed here. So let's get her down to 10 miles per hour. And where are we at on time? 24 minutes. Perfect. It's all working out. And this, I guess I could have done this before we left the yard. But this is, if you saw from the outside, this is the other end, please. There you go. This is the BR Class 20 nose to nose. That's the setup I guess they came up with because the visibility was not good. So you go nose to nose on a paired set, and you're actually looking out the rear window as you go forward. Hey man, whatever works, right? Whatever it takes. All right. And we're going, are we going back under? I think we're up top now. We had to cross over those tracks that are now on our right. And then we're not going under anything up here. I don't think we are. No, we're not. All right. I'm trying to run with less and less HUD, but I still can't quite get away from what's up there in the top left-hand side, because without that I have no idea where to stop. I don't think we get a red signal up here. I think it more or less just wants us to stop at the end of a siding. But without that dialogue, you have no idea what siding it is they want you to stop on. Now there's supposed to be, did I hear that right? In TSW2 there is supposed to be more manifest. Like, a lot of people have said what they want is like a clipboard right there with a little, you know, pencil sketch on it or something, so that you can run no HUD at all and still know when you get to a yard, still know where you're going. Some of this stuff I know you need to memorize. You need to learn different routes and different stops and different braking points for like passenger routes. I get that. But I also know the HUD can be an immersion killer. I'm getting away from it, but I know I'll never be able to get away from it 100%. All right, and now it's like a slow motion race because we're at 26 minutes, 3/4 of a mile. Yep, I think we might be just over 30 minutes. Hopefully not too much. This does look a little, it looks a little flat though. It looks a little washed out. I've got everything on ultra, and we are doing post-processing and everything else, but this looks a little flat to me. Lighting looks a little kind of dead. All right, and are our switches in the right place? Yeah, seems to be. Yeah, we're just going straight and then stopping on this track. All right, that's what you want. I don't know how much of that routing is dynamic. So we left, as soon as the service started, we left. Had we waited 10 minutes, I don't know if this route would have sent us to a different place, right? Or if your destination is, I don't mean like we were always coming to the steelworks, but I don't know if where we stop in this steelworks is dynamic or if it's always going to be the same for that service that time of day. Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, some of these models, I guess they're really not meant to be looked at very closely. Some of those, for 2020, you know, that's maybe not that impressive. But if you're just glancing at them at the window rolling by at 60 miles an hour, they probably look fine. And that's all for a developer. I'm sure that that's a consideration. That's something that they're thinking about every day as a game like this is being developed, is what level of detail do we include and what performance level are we looking to hit. And I guess this game is a great example of that because CSX Heavy Haul was, I mean, it was poorly optimized, but they needed to dial back the detail a little bit to get the frame rate up. So it's one of those things where a developer, I think, is never going to please everybody. You know, you're always going to have somebody who's saying, you know, I want more detail, I want more FPS, I want more post-processing, I want more in-cab detail, I don't care about the outside world. Other people say, well, I play third person, I don't care what the inside of the cab looks like, don't waste space on that. I want texture detail in the world, I want LOD. It's different for everybody, which I guess is why there's so many adjustable settings for graphics. All right, so we come down here, not this one, not this one. There we go. So here's our siding here. Yeah, just a couple minutes past half an hour. That happens. Yeah, and we'll just go to the end of this siding. We don't get a red mark. A red mark. Oh, we don't get a red mark. There's no light. There's no signal or indication. We don't get any type of anything. What is that going on over there? There's a little LOD. It's like the smoke is on one plane and the stacks are on another plane. Yeah, not a big deal. Just don't look. Don't look. You didn't see anything. Same one over here. Nice. Nice detail. All right. And I think, yeah, after we stop, it's going to have us unhook and then pull forward another couple hundred yards. So we'll need to be ready to do that as well. All right. So we'll set that brake up down here. Come right in here. All right. Oh, I need a bigger desk. I need a bigger desk. And we're going to Lackenby Grid East Shunt. All right. Up here. I think that popping sound is meant to be the brakes coming off as the air pressure drops. I'm sorry, that would be the brakes applying as the air pressure drops. All right. And we're still under a 10-mile-per-hour speed limit, so we'll be mindful of that. Pull right up here. All right, ready on the brakes. There we are. How'd we do? There you go. Right on. Thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Train Sim World 2020. See you next time. Take care now.